This Once Human video is about the results of 6-starring the tank self-heal set that is the Icy Rain. This weapon reloads itself automatically and heals you constantly while being the tankiest possible build that does not use Fortress Warfare. Let me show you the results, the DPS tests, and show you what I'm talking about. Now, real quick, before I show you the DPS testing, let me just show you what guide I'm talking about. It's right here. It's called the best solo build, no StarCrom at all. The best solo free build for all content, tanky, infinitely shoots, rapid self-healing. That is the title. You can find it in the description of this video. Just scroll down. It'll be right here under guides, and just click it right on there. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because this specific set, not everything is 6-star. I have a 6-star weapon. I have the 6-star heavy duty set and, or 5-star rather, Frost Tactical. Everything is starred up all the way except the legendary piece, which is the Lone Wolf Mask. And the reason why everything is maxed out is because it is free to max out. You don't have to spin StarCrom. You don't have to, do anything other than make a new character on a 2-week-old server, run to the Morphic crates, loot these items, fuse them, then create another new character on a new server, run to the Morphic crate, loot the item, fuse the blueprints. It takes about 1 hour to do this, but you can have a 5-star build. I know I said 6-star earlier, but a 5-star build with free items. Again, you take 1 hour, your entire account shares your blueprints now. So this means that you can completely max most of this out, everything except your offset piece, of course, as a brand new player to this game. And I'm going to show you the damage results now. Let's get to the DPS test. So for the damage test, we're going to do no buffs at all, just shooting with this Icy Rain build, all right? Just blasting into the target's head here. So here we go. Hopefully there's no Prime Wars going on, because server lag can heavily dictate your damage per second. So you can see that I can infinitely shoot. I never have to reload, and the damage is going to cap out around 24.5k or so DPS, and the target dummy to my right is suffering AoE damage around 9,000. Now, this is not impressive numbers. This is not at all impressive numbers, but that is no buffs, and this is more than enough to clear trash mobs and farm hard mode dungeons if you so desire, if you're just that lazy. Next up is the Bullseye. This comes from the DE50 Wildfire. A little different than the build guide that I just showed you earlier, but this one is slightly more damage and faster to apply. And what we're going to do is we're going to shoot this target. It will debuff this one, and then we will DPS this target. So there's the blue glow on the right side, and now you can see that the damage jumps up massively to about, well, it usually tops around 40,000. It doesn't look like it wants to right now. It's struggling around 37, 38k, but you get the idea. Now, this next test, we're going to use a Polar Jelly Deviation, and we're not using the Wildfire. I'm just going to go ahead and reload it for the next test. So we're going to summon this, and then we're just going to start blasting here. I think I missed a few shots, but you get the idea. The Polar Jelly alone makes this above 50,000 damage. So, pretty good stuff, and then the residual AoE damage is 40k on this target. Now we're going to combine the two, the Polar Jelly and the Bullseye. So I'm going to summon the Polar Jelly, make sure this one's debuffed, and then begin damage. So combined, we are hitting around 85 to 80,000 DPS. This will completely melt hard mode bosses, and just evaporate everything not in pro mode. Now, it is dropping down, of course, but very strong stuff indeed. Next up, we are going to eat the canned minty meat. This is frost damage plus 15%. There we go. And then we will also consume a whimsical drink, which is status damage plus 25%. Alright, so with those two food buffs, and then we're going to go ahead and attack the target dummy here. And you'll see that the damage with the food buffs, without the other buffs, it doesn't jump up too much. Up to like 27k, 28k, not the most impressive thing, so food buffs, not that great if you're just being vanilla. But with the other ones, it will push us over 100k. Alright, so now this is with all of the buffs. I gotta wait on my Polar Jelly just a sec. And there's a Prime War, so server lag really hurts this build. if there's a lot of lag going on, but we're going to go ahead and summon the Polar Jelly, get the other one debuffed here, and then start blasting. Alright, so this is with food buffs, this is with Bullseye, this is with the Polar Jelly, and yeah, we're still around 80k, 81, 82k or so, but I'm gonna blame the server lag on this one, but normally I could push 100k DPS here. So that's the damage tests. Now with 2 Prime Wars going on at the same time, my DPS has dropped to 40k fully buffed. It is, again, if you're in the open world and there's lots of Prime Wars happening, like there's one there, it just absolutely nukes your damage, and I'm being truthful about this. But, lucky for us, this is a build more suited for speedrunning silos for a few reasons, and that is that the heavy duty set increases your run speed when you kill stuff, but it also makes you super duper tanky. Meaning that you don't get downed, you don't have to inject yourself with adrenaline shots, and you can just, all you do is you run up to the boss, you pop your Polar Jelly out, you shoot it with your pistol, and then you just machine gun it down, and then the damage, like the boss just, it melts. Now obviously, the damage is going to be much higher when you're killing adds too, because when you kill other creatures that massively boosts your damage. There's a whole lot of other factors that I'm not able to show you on these target dummies. And bosses, well, we all know that we, you know, stack damage against bosses and not normal enemies, but it is what it is. And I want to point out, this build is strong enough to do pro mode, and you could technically do Nightmare. You can technically solo Nightmare, however, it would take like 30 to 40 minutes, and you'd have to bring multiple repairs and a whole lot of ammo, because while you can't die because of all your self-healing and tankiness, your damage, you know, as a solo in Nightmare is going to be really painful. But as far as being farm efficiency goes, running pro mode silos doesn't earn you as much Stardust Source or energy links as just spamming hard mode. So I've made videos where I've done this dungeon. I have a whole farming video. You can check the link in the description. I don't need to show you on the screen. But look at my HP. I'm going to go ahead and clear out all the insanity buff there, and my HP is like critical levels, right? Super duper low. And let me just kind of show you when I shoot things how fast we're just gonna self-heal, in case you didn't watch my other video real quick. But yeah, when we have a more beefy target to shoot at, look at our HP, it's just massively jumping up. Now this is slow compared to like constantly shooting a beefy target, but look, I'm already fully healed. Also, there's a lot of Prime Wars going on, that's why I had to manually reload there. When there's no Prime Wars going on, our Frost Vortex procs way more often. But yeah, you can clear dungeons super duper quickly here. And I know in the other video I was using Fortress Warfare and other things, but this is just so much faster and easier. Again, you can speedrun this dungeon in like a minute and 30 seconds if you're tryharding. And I know I didn't check all my corners for like the little bonus dudes here. Whatever, I'm not too concerned about it. I just wanted to show you the boss fight, and you know, getting rocked around by the boss, taking lots of damage, it's no big deal. A lot of these bosses have where they like, you know, make a big poisonous fog in the room. So what I'm going to do, run up to the boss, switch to pistol, tap it a few times, I got my Deviant out, and this thing, like, all the ads around it just melt, mostly, except for the tanky boys. He's immune right now. You gotta kill these poison pods. I'm going to heal through all the poison damage, and if this drill guy hits me, like, I'm full HP right now, technically. Well, I'm not, now I am, and if I get hit by anything at all, I just heal through it, and yeah, like, I ended the fight in seconds, full HP, and if they do hit me, I have something like... It's 50% damage resistance, and then depending on how many enemies are around me, that can be another 16%, so 66% damage resistance. And then if your mods have even more damage resistance, then yeah, 1 minute 50 seconds, we could do it faster than that, guys. But this build is just my favorite overall, like, solo build for just basic stuff. Now, obviously, you'd want to run a meta build if you're like trying to be like #1 DPS in a Prime War or something, or if you want to like do boss runs. There are better weapons out there for running bosses. Like if you want to kill the Shadow Hound on pro mode over and over and over again, then obviously this build isn't the fastest, but it's very safe. I can just face tank any boss in the game that I want. Even it doesn't matter. As long as I can shoot it, I can self-heal, and it can't kill me. So this thing is really great for the Way of Winter bosses. Now, as far as PvP goes, this ain't it. This doesn't deal enough damage in PvP. Like, I just tanked an explosion right there for nothing, right? And we can summon the Deviant, put it away, get a little bit of shield so we can tank these little turret things. And again, this build is just the best build ever for farming. Dungeons, solo stuff. Like, if you just want to do supply runs in the open world and you get swarmed by a bunch of mobs, this build will keep you alive indefinitely forever. If you want to fight, if you're doing a Lunar server, which I'm on a Lunar server, and you're wanting to fight the Lunar spawns, you know, the humanoid freak things that look like players that deal tons of damage, well, you can face tank those. You can literally just stand in their face and shoot them. And on the server I'm on, my Cradle Override allows me to freeze them. So I just freeze the Lunar spawns. They can't fight back, and I can just beam them in the head and melt them super freaking quick. So yeah, it's really that simple, guys. I hope you enjoyed this follow-up video. And like I said, it takes, if you're a brand new character and you play on a server that's at least 2 weeks old. How fast did we do this dungeon? Let me just check real quick. 1 minute 39 seconds, right? Could have been faster, but whatever. What I'm trying to get at is that you join a 2-week-old server on your main character if you're a first-time new player. You go around and get all the Morphic Crates, which my other guide video will show you how to do and tell you exactly where to go, so there's no confusion there. Once you have that, you make a new character on a different server that's 2 weeks old. They will have the same blueprints already because blueprints are shared across all characters. You ride up, you get the same Morphic Crates on that second character. It does not take hours to... You don't have to progress the story. You just, as soon as you get your motorcycle, you ride up to the crates and loot them, and that's it. Then you fuse the blueprints to get the star rating, and then you make a new character on another server, and you repeat the same thing. And that process takes 1 hour. So, like, if I were to start a brand new account on this game, I could have this gear in 3 to 4 hours. Now, obviously, the Lone Wolf Mask, that's 3K. You just buy that. This pistol's 2K. The stun baton, I could 5-star this if I wanted, but I don't ever melee attack things, so I don't need to. It's just a waste. But the point is that I could go from 0 to freaking hero with this build, doing over 100k DPS, buffed, of course, and, you know, unbuffed just with the deviation in the pistol, you know, 50 to 60k, right? I believe that's what the number was. So, and that'll make you rich, because you just run the silos in 1 minute and 30 seconds, you never die, you self-heal, you never have to reload, unless the server lags, of course, and you're just good to go. And then as far as repairs go, like on your weapon, you just go to Eternal Land. Okay, you just go to Eternal Land, and you just pop the artisan's hands, and you repair your gear. So that's free. You can see here I have look at all my benches. Look at all my benches. I have like all of them crafting stuff, right? And we have all-purpose hands. All right. And then you just pop that, boom, there you go. The weapon's now repaired, and you would just do that if your armor's damaged. But my armor isn't damaged because I'm AoEing everything around me with the frost vortexes, okay? And then as far as ammo cost goes, well, when you're running those silos, you're going to get more tungsten than you're spending on ammo. And let me show you how that works. Because when you run these hard mode dungeons, you have these weapons that you just break down, which gives you tungsten ingots, and then you just turn the ingots into bullets. It's really that simple, right? And you know that? It's not really that great. So 28 tungsten, how much ammo would that even freaking make? And yeah, this bench can make 50% additional ammo, so you would want to get something like that. But tungsten SMG ammo with 28 tungsten would make 1,620 plus 50% of that, so 2,000. Wait, yeah, 2,000. No, 3,200, I think, something like that, right? And I didn't spend that much ammo in those few dungeon runs. That was what, 2 dungeon runs, and I got 28 tungsten, and it didn't cost me any acid, and I get tons of energy links and tons of Stardust Source, so I can just teleport right here to the market, the Harvester's Market, and then just buy everyone else's stuff. Oh, do I need gunpowder? Just buy it from a player. Do I need like anything that I need, I can just buy from other people by just manually farming. I know my character kind of looks like a farmer because, well, she is, but it's okay. I can't teleport back for a minute and a half, but I was going to show you the base that I have set up is a farming base. And if you want a similar farming base, then I have videos for that as well. I just want to show you, this game is solved. This game is easy. You don't have to sit here and play for 6 months and get a primal rage to 5 stars. Yes, a 5-star primal rage will have you sitting at 1 HP, so you get one-tapped by everything in the game. And yeah, you'll deal like 4 times more damage than I'm doing, but I'm having more fun because I'm just running around, beaming everything, fully healing, being the tankiest possible build in the game that isn't some Fortress Warfare Bastille build that does no damage. I self-heal, I never have to reload, I just shoot forever. It's the greatest build there ever was in this game. Yeah, it's, yeah, sure, you won't get first place in Prime Wars. Who cares? You'll still get your crates. You'll still get enough stars to get all the rewards anyway. So you won't be on the leaderboards, whoop-de-freaking-do. But this build allows you to make those builds. It is literally the best starter build that you can ever do. And now that character progress sharing is a thing, you can 6-star it. And this entire video is to just show you how much more damage you would do if you 6-starred this set. Anyway, I'm SoulBenji, thanks for watching. If you want more Once Human vids, let me know what you want to see in the comments or whatever. And click the video on the right side of your screen. And if you do, the next time you go to fast food breakfast, which closes at 10:30, you know, on most mornings, you're going to make it just in time for that breakfast, and you're not going to be late. So see you later. Bonus footage. Let's show off the DPS with the disintegrating ammo because I've been using tungsten ammo, by the way. I know all the other YouTubers use the fancy pants ammo, but let's go ahead and throw that disintegrator ammo in there. And yes, there is still a prime war going on, so the lag is going to lower my damage, but it is what it is, okay? So pistol, deviant, pop some heads, swap over to this, and just unload. We don't have a lot of bullets though, and again, I normally hit over 100k, but due to that Prime War, it's just not gonna happen. Almost 98k. There you go, folks. See you later. Mwah.